Kiwi.
102.2. The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Kiwi.
Joining me now in the Kiwi studio is Peter Elliot, who is directing a new performance, a new production, I should really say, called Thom based on nothing, at the Herald Theatre in Auckland City. G'day there, Peter. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm very startled to be here this early hour, of course.
Yeah, good weekend though.
Yeah, fantastic weekend. I didn't do a hell of a lot actually. I sort of spent most of it sort of relaxing and sort of eating with friends and that sort of thing, which is really lovely. And something that I enjoy eating.
Yeah, eating.
You know, one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, you start to feel it if you don't eat for a while, right?
You start to feel it if you do eat too.
Actually, talking about eating, I know that you must be a bit of a seafood fan, because I caught you recently on a fishing show.
Yeah, a thing called Carter's Match Fishing League, which is on Saturdays on TV1 at 5:25. It's a competition between 5 top Kiwi angler teams, and I sort of front that with another woman called Andrea Downey.
And she's on the other boat.
Yeah, and she's on the black boat, I'm on the red boat. Yeah. And I go out with the home team and she goes out with the away team, and we see what happens. It's a great show. I mean, I really enjoy it, but the world's most frustrating show at the same time, because I mean, I love to fish, and of course one of the things I'm not allowed to do on a fishing show is fish. Matt gets to fish, Carter gets to, Graham Sinclair gets to fish, everyone gets to fish as a host, but I don't.
Yeah.
And
so you're a fishing fan?
I love it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Anyway.
And obviously sea legs as well. You've got some decent sea legs.
Well, yeah, I got them a few years ago when I did a series called Captain's Log, and I spent a lot of time at sea during that. And I don't really ever get troubled unless it's particularly rough and I have to have my head down, at the front of a boat and it's hot and I'm packing a kite or something, then it can be pretty uncomfortable, and I've been known to upchuck the boogie. But yeah. We had one guy who, during Captain's Log, who spent his 3 days in a bunk and couldn't get out, so he filled his boot.
Goodness me.
It was very unattractive.
I was because I've got terrible sea legs, and I was thinking I would never have been able to make the journey like our ancestors did in the 1800s from England to New Zealand. Couldn't have done it.
Yeah, you could have.
No,
you could have. You just would have arrived very thin.
Yeah,
and extremely unhappy.
I think I would have expired.
Really?
At some point on the journey. Impossible for me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how you do get used to it after a period of time. And it's the slowness of the movement that often gets you, that just is relentless. But if you get busy, I worked on a cruise ship years ago out of Sydney. God, what are we talking about this for? But anyway, I worked on a cruise ship out of Sydney called the Fair Star, and people would get on that, and everybody was sick for the first 3 days, and then everyone was fine. But I got on it, and my first day, and I was so busy, I just was running around like a blue-ass fly. I had nothing else to do except organise talent and mix sound and get everything organised and put on shows and all that sort of stuff. I was so busy working from 10 in the morning till 3 in the morning. I never had a chance to get sick.
Personally, I think you'd have to be insane to go on a cruise ship journey from New Zealand up to the Pacific. I think you've got to fly to wherever your cruise is, rather than take that perilous journey through those through the South Seas, through the waves.
One of the things about sea is it does have waves on it. Yeah. You really can't get away from them, no matter where you are.
Yeah. No, this is true. Something else that people will also know you as is the Get Through guy.
Yep.
On TV, and maybe I think that you might have got the message through to a fair few Cantabrians.
Well, not only in Cantabrians, I've had quite a few people on the Facebook page come in and say, "Look, thanks very much. You were the first person I thought of, and we're actually going to do something about it now," which is great. It doesn't take a lot of time, it doesn't take a lot of money, it doesn't take a lot of effort, but it does take you actually saying, okay, I will get this ready and I will talk to my family about where I have to be. I went down to Christchurch last weekend, not this weekend, but just gone, and spent some time down there, and I was amazed at how people were coping down there, really. Because it's still rolling and shaking and that sort of thing, and there's an awful lot to do. But there's also...
You didn't do any filming there, did you, for a future Get Through ad?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I thought sort of anything down there like that might be a little bit odd. And so I just went down to see if I could help in any way, and I've got family down there, and so went down and sort of fossicked about and went to the rescue centres at Addington and Cowell Stadium and spent a bit of time in those, and then toured out with the official party, going to the worst hit areas and talking with people out there who are astonishingly stoic, I have to say. I was incredibly impressed with them.
There's something though about your tone, about your voice. I think that's very almost it's very reassuring. I think for a lot of people. Yeah?
Well,
where did you find your voice? Where did that come from?
Where did I find that voice? Well, I've been an actor for a very long time. I mean, I've been an actor for over 30 years now. So, I suppose, and I've done a few voiceovers. So
yeah,
I've got a bit of an idea how to use the voice. I suppose something's ever occurred to me.
You do wake up with that voice. It is your own voice.
Yeah, I haven't changed it. I don't think.
Hey, you are directing this production called Thom Paine.
I am.
Starring Oliver Driver. In fact, it's a one-man show, isn't it?
It is a one-man show.
It's basically just you and him.
Yes, it's we just get to sit in a room and party, really. I suppose we've been rehearsing for about 3 weeks now, and it's difficult too because there's absolutely no relief for Oliver. So he can't. Normally you'd sit down after a run of a play or something, and you'd talk to some people, and everyone gets a bit of a break. But Oliver gets a bit. Well, it's just me getting it in the neck,
Yeah.
So, but he's doing really well, and Ollie's really at the peak of his powers currently. He's got some really good chops going on, particularly on stage, and so a lot of the directing isn't so much directing as sort of collaborating and sort of finding ways through. And working together, it's been a really enjoyable experience, I have to say. He's a good guy, and he's been a friend for about 15, 20 years.
Do you think that the TV thing, morning TV thing, that was a bit of a distraction? This is really where it's at for Oliver, on stage.
Certainly, Oliver has a terrific capability on stage, but he's a bit of an everyman. He's very capable in a live situation. He's great at fronting gigs. I mean, he's up for the last few years. He's done the Qantas Film and TV Awards, and Rhys Darby did them this Friday night, and was it Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night.
Yeah,
I didn't go, but. And he would normally be doing those, and he was really good at that as well. But on stage, Oliver has a presence and the ability to connect directly with an audience in a way that very, very few performers ever get to at that level, and he's very good at it. He's extremely comfortable.
Is he playing just the one character, or
he's played? Thom Paine is just one man,
okay.
Who's come to a certain point in his life and is reveling and unraveling, and so he's finding what's making him tick. Really, he's funny. He's the thing about Thom Paine is he's wallowing in a sea of half truths that he's either told to himself or he's told to other people, and so he's finding his way through that. And you may decide why he's doing that for your own reason when you see the play. But it's funny. It's comedic. He's part conjurer, part comedian, part stand-up. And part human being. He's very good at it.
Where does the story come from?
Written by a guy called Will Eno, who's I'd love to tell you was Brian Eno's brother or son or something, but I don't think he is. I don't think he has any musical connection at all. But and he's a very witty and clever young playwright. He's one of the new generation of American playwrights. He's about 35 and so forth. He's astonishingly amusing. His humour is sort of macabre. He said one piece. He said, "Why do you like theatre?" He said, "I like listening to people in pain in rooms with good acoustics," and sort of words to that effect. So, and he's a thinking man. He's very succinct. He says things extremely cleverly and extremely clearly in a way that a good poet does. Like Shakespeare will give you a line, and you go, if you try and précis or shorten that line, you end up using 50 words where Shakespeare used 3, like a good poet does. And Will Eno is very similar to that. So a lot of the imagery that he gives you is extremely accurate but honed, and there isn't a wasted word in it, really.
So as a director, you find it quite easy to work with the material?
Yes, and no, because you have to find a way through it, and it's a bit like a detective story. You're finding, what is he talking about here? Where's he going with this? What is the motivation behind this area? And that's not always very clear. And so it's a process of clarification that we've gone through in many ways, and then allowing Oliver's genius to shine through, I suppose.
So where do you prefer to be at the moment? Is it behind the lens, so to speak, or in front?
Yeah, no, I just prefer the paying gig at the moment.
Okay, yeah. You'll take anything. Peter Elliot.
I'm a slut. No, I actually like being on this side of the fence. Directing, I love it. I'm very at home. I feel very comfortable, and I really enjoy it. That said, I've been doing a bit of film and telly this year, and it's been great to go back to those things as well.
So we can expect some film on the way?
Well, I just finished playing Harold Beecham in who's Catherine Mansfield's father, and Fiona Samuel's new movie coming out called Bliss.
Cool.
It's only a little role, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and it was a good experience, and I think it's going to be a very good piece, starring Kate Elliot as Catherine Mansfield.
Yeah.
And I just shot a pilot for a guy called Duncan Eastwood called Murray Field, and we hope that'll get picked up. He shot it off his own budget. He paid for it himself, and we got a bunch of people together and shot that with him out at his studios in Keeling Road. And we did. I think we've done a pretty good thing. It could really fly. So that was really interesting to be playing at the sweaty end of the field, I suppose. It's been quite good.
Does it feel like at the moment in New Zealand we are, Outrageous Fortune is almost finished. We're searching around for that next.
Oh no! You see, the thing about Outrageous Fortune that Jimmy and Rachel wrote, they've gone on to new things as well, and they're doing well in those. I mean, Jimmy's just writing a new thing called The Almighty Johnsons, which will come out soon. Rachel's working on that as well. And so, but there's a great deal of creativity going on at the moment. I mean, with Taika's picking up 4 awards for Boy and so forth. I mean, there are all sorts of people coming out of the woodwork who have multi talents rather than that sort of one note comedy we've been stuck on for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Say no more. Well, Thom Paine...
Say no more. Say no more, please.
Say nothing else.
Yeah.
Based on Nothing. Thom Paine, Based on Nothing is the name of the play, happening at the Herald Theatre, and tickets are $25 to $45, depending on your income level. Bookings through The Edge at buytickets.co.nz. Peter Elliot has been my guest. He's the director of Thom Paine. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.